Why do some armies win battles but lose wars? Why can you dominate every team fight in a game but still lose the match? And why do some businesses crush their competition in one area but go bankrupt anyway? The answer comes down to two words that most people think mean the same thing, but they're actually completely different. Let's talk about strategy and tactics. Imagine you're playing the ultimate game of capture the flag, but it's real life, and the stakes are massive. You've got 1,000 soldiers, your opponent has 1,000 soldiers, and there's a fortress in the middle that you both want to control. Now, you could just charge straight at it. Your soldiers might be brave, they might fight well, and they might even win individual fights. But here's the thing, you'd probably lose. Why? Because fighting well isn't enough. You need to know what you're fighting for and how all your moves fit together. That's where strategy and tactics come in. And here's the mind-blowing part. Understanding these two concepts will change how you play games, how you approach school, and eventually how you build a business or lead a team. But before we get there, let me ask you something. Have you ever won a battle but felt like you were still losing the war? Hold that thought. Strategy is your big picture plan. It's the what and the why. It answers questions like, what are we trying to achieve? Why are we doing this? What's our end goal? Let me give you a real military example. In World War II, the Allied forces had a strategy in the Pacific. Defeat Japan by controlling key islands that would let them get close enough to strike the Japanese mainland. That was the strategy, the overall goal and approach. Notice what strategy does not tell you. It doesn't tell you exactly how to fight on each island. It doesn't tell you whether to use grenades or rifles. Strategy is like being the architect of a building. You decide what the building should look like, how big it should be, and what purpose it serves. You're thinking months or years ahead. You're thinking about resources, about the enemy's strengths and weaknesses, about the terrain. Here's another way to think about it. Strategy asks, are we doing the right things? It's about choosing the correct objective. Okay, so we know where we're going. But how do we actually get there? That's where tactics come in, and this is where things get really interesting. Tactics are your on-the-ground actions. They're the how. They answer, how do we execute the plan? What specific moves do we make right now? Back to our World War II example. The strategy was to take key islands. But tactics? That's when you're actually on the island, and you need to decide, do we flank left or right? Do we send in infantry first or call in an airstrike? Tactics are like being the construction worker who actually builds the building. You're making moment-to-moment decisions and adapting to what's happening right in front of you. A modern example. In urban warfare, a strategy might be to secure the city. But the tactics include things like clearing buildings room by room, using drones for reconnaissance, and setting up overwatch positions. Tactics ask, are we doing things right? It's about execution and adapting quickly. Now here's where it gets crazy. You can be amazing at tactics, but terrible at strategy, or vice versa, and both will make you lose. The difference comes down to scope and time. Strategy is long-term, the big picture, and it sets the direction. Tactics are short-term, about specific situations, and they execute that direction. Here's the critical part. You can win every tactical battle and still lose the strategic war. A classic example is the Vietnam War. The United States won almost every major battle. Their tactics were often superior, but ultimately withdrew without achieving their strategic objective. On the flip side, you can have a brilliant strategy but fail because of poor tactics. Imagine a perfect plan to take that fortress, but your soldiers don't know how to work together. Great strategy, terrible execution. The best commanders in history, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Sun Tzu, they understood both. Their strategy gave them clear objectives, and their tactics made sure they achieved them. Strategy is choosing to climb the right mountain. Tactics is knowing how to actually climb it. You might be thinking, cool military stuff, but what does this have to do with my life? Everything. Literally everything. In gaming, Your strategy might be to control the center of the map and starve the enemy of resources. Your tactics are how you do it. You flank left, I'll engage head-on, then we pincer them. In business, Apple's strategy is to create premium, user-friendly products. Their tactics are everything from their store designs to their big product launch events. In your own life, your strategy could be, I want to get into a good college for engineering. Your tactics are the actions you take, taking advanced math, joining the robotics club, and studying for 2 hours every day. See the pattern? Strategy sets your direction and purpose. Tactics are the specific actions you take to get there. So here's what you need to remember. Strategy without tactics is just a dream. You never actually do anything. Tactics without strategy is just chaos. You're busy but going nowhere. The best leaders, gamers, and entrepreneurs master both. They know where they're going and they know how to get there. Next time you're starting a project or playing a game, ask yourself, what's my strategy? What are my tactics? And are they aligned? Because once you understand the difference, you don't just play the game better, you change the game entirely. Now go out there, think strategically, act tactically, and win. Thanks for watching, and if you learned something new, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.